I just first of all just want to first say what an incredible atmosphere that was Saturday. Fans were awesome. Man, I think whenever Oklahoma was backed up, that was as loud as I've heard any stadium. I mean, it was incredible. We got to continue to have that when we ever get back into Nippert for our home games. It's incredible home field advantage for sure. And really appreciate everybody coming out. Disappointed again in the loss. Obviously we're going out there to try to compete to win and win the football game. And we were in the game, really all the way up to the end, and just, didn't get it done. I think particularly obviously not scoring enough, points offensively. Touchdowns is one thing we got to get better at for sure. We're moving the football. Top 20 in the country in yards. I mean, we are actually moving it. We're running it good. Just got to get the points. Obviously, that's the name of the game. I am, proud of our defense. They held up an explosive offense that was averaging 55.7 points to 20 points, and they played. I said this at the end of the game. They were good enough for us to win. Proud of our secondary, our guys up front. You guys just did a great job. We had some guys get dinged up, in that game. But guys, I think will be fine to go this week. They've been practicing yesterday, so they're out, so it should be good to go. I was proud of the way they continue to fight and play and play through, getting dinged up. Ken Willis had his first start and was proud of the way he went out and played. Very solid game for that, which will help us as we move throughout the season. Special teams did a great job. Fletch, down in the ball, flipping the field inside the 10, which was incredible. Really helped us, I think, to hold them to 20 points. And Carter Brown, knocking down that 54-yard, which is awesome to see because we'll need that as we head as well. BYU this week, great football team. A lot of respect for years of being a really good football team. For us, short week, having to go out and travel out there, we're prepared for that. It's been so far ahead of the schedule as far as the short week goes, as far as game planning. Have practice Sunday and Monday. Of course, today, be our big work day. They're very solid on defense. They made a change last year. New defensive coordinator that came in this year. They've been very solid on that side of the ball. Offensively, got a transfer quarterback, Slovis, that we played against last year when he was at Pitt. A little bit like Emory. I mean, he's been at this is his third school and played a lot of ball. Very experienced player, very poised. Throws a really good ball, catchable ball. You're probably not going to rattle him, anything that you're doing defensively. A very solid player and really has helped them to, get off on this start that they're on right now. I think they're just a very, very solid football team. You look at their kicking game. Their punter's one of the best in the country. He can boom it, so they flip fields that way. Play solid defense, and that's how they've been winning games and done some great things. So another challenge for us going on the road there. We're looking forward to that, going out and playing these guys. Again, a lot of respect for what they do.
Have you coached at altitude before, and does anything change to get guys ready? I know it's a quick week, so I don't know how much you can do.
I mean, I've coached out on the West Coast. I mean, Wyoming, Montana, Boise. So if I don't think there's a whole lot we can do with that. We've trained in high humidity heat here, and the last couple of weeks, offensively we've run 91 plays and 82 plays. I mean, our guys are getting a lot of work in. I think temperature out there is going to be high that day is low 70s. It'll be probably in the 60s. So that'll probably help a little bit, I think. So, it's something that we can't control, can't worry about. Our guys just kind of have to go out and prepare. I think the big thing we've talked about this week is getting rest. Really just getting your mind and body rested well this week as much as we can prior to going out there to help us on Friday night.
Anything in Slovis from the tape you had last year to what he's doing this year?
Yeah, it's obviously a different school. But some are, some of the same things that he did last year. They're doing again this year. I think they do have some good skilled wide receivers that have made some great catches. I mean, the number 2 made a great catch against Arkansas, one-handed catch. So they certainly have some good players that he can get the ball to. I know they're wanting to get the running game going a little bit more. They're probably disappointed in how they've run the football because that'll certainly help Slovis. So we anticipate them trying to get the running game going, this week. That's a quarterback. That always helps the quarterback for sure. But yeah, he is who he is, Slovis. He's a good football player. He's won a ton of football games in his career, and again, great poise. And I think that's the one thing that you'll see when we face him.
High leverage situations, goal line, third down. Do you feel like it's close to when you get back and look at the tape? Does it feel like there are plays to be made there that maybe you're just not making yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're really close. We talked about that. I mean, as a whole offense, man, we're moving the ball. We're making plays. It seems like that we get bogged down or we have a bad play at the wrong time, and that next thing you know, you're off the sticks. And then that's more difficult for the offense. And we got to do a great job of staying on the sticks and doing what we do, and just executing. And and when you get down in the tight red, down inside there, everything is shrinks, it's condensed. And so you're going to have to win some one-on-one battles. We look at it every week. I mean, if you look at an NFL game or if you look at, Saturday after our game, watch some football that evening, and man, there's contested throws, there's tight catches, there's guys breaking tackles and running through them to get in the end zone. That's what we have to do because that's how you have to score. There's not many times where you're just free to go run into the end zone. That just doesn't happen. So we got to continue to do what we're doing and trust the plan that we have and execute.
Defense is having success with forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, and last year in Louisville, you guys were at the top of the country. What does Coach Brown do in terms of having coaches, maybe the technique that he uses to have some success?
Well, we work it really hard in the off season. I think particularly in the spring and in August camp. I mean, every day we're doing turnover circuits and you're really just harping on it. I think anything you emphasize that you obviously you get that back when you start playing games. And so, we're number one on defense. We want to chase the football, and if you chase the ball, a lot of times the ball will bounce your way, and you'll end up getting it. I think if you're an aggressive defense, then those things are going to happen as well. And I also think if you look at it, I mean, third downs are a big down to get turnovers because you're putting pressure on quarterbacks. Quarterbacks feel like they got to throw the ball, and next thing you know, the ball's tipped or he's thrown into coverage, and some things are going to happen. And so third down emphasis is really big, and defensively trying to get those turnovers as well. But I think more than anything, just being aggressive and playing extremely hard. I think the ball is going to find you more times than not.
It'll help having Deshaun Pace back. Do you sense a more determined Deshaun Pace after having to sit out?
Yeah, I mean, he was hurt last week, and he didn't get an opportunity to play, and obviously he wants to play, and he's hurt because we didn't win. And I think he's showed great focus so far this week, very determined. I hope he goes out and has a great week and a great game Friday. I think he will. He's certainly got the ability to do that, and the playmaking, ability to go out and make those plays. And there's another guy that can run. He's a guy who can cause havoc, and we're going to need that this week for sure.
You guys just played your first Big 12 home game. This is BYU's first Big 12 home game. Is there anything that you can learn and take away from how you guys dealt with that pressure and expectation playing in your first game to now how BYU is maybe going to have that big crowd and how they're going to play their first Big 12 home game? Yeah,
I think certainly. It's exciting, for us last week to host our first Big 12 game and all the things that go around that. You try to, as a coach, and we try to insulate our guys, as much as you can and say, listen, it's a football game. It's Oklahoma. They're great. But let's prepare well. Let's go out and play well and try not to get, caught up in all that. And, at the end of the day, it's a football game, and we have to go try to win. And so that's our look this week. It's different for us. We're traveling. You're playing on a short week. You're playing on a Friday night. There's a lot of things that are different. We try to create the same routine for our guys, and we'll try to do that again this week with the same routine that we normally have, and then go out and play a great game. And these guys are good. As we get into this conference play now, it's going to be a broken record week in and week out. Because there's a lot of really good football teams that we're going to have to play in this league. There are some great coaches. some really great venues that we'll be going to play in, as well as this one, and then you got to go execute. You got to be spot on. There's not a whole lot of room for error. You can't make some mistakes here and there and think you're going to go win. You got to be spot on. You look at BYU last week, and Kansas got a couple of touchdowns, unconventionally, right? I mean, not from their offense. So, and they end up losing. It can't, so BYU's going to look at that and say, we got to play smarter. We got to take care of the ball. All those type things, because those are the things that get you beat.
Miami game about a lack of splash plays, chunk plays, and again, it was kind of an issue. Only a couple against Oklahoma. What do you do to kind of get that back on track? Because they were there against Eastern Kentucky and Pitt, and then weren't there the last 2 weeks.
Well, they were there last week. We didn't finish the plays. They were there. I mean, you go back and watch the film. We had guys running wide open, and a couple of times we're getting pressure, we're getting hit as the ball's getting thrown, and we need a little bit more protection on those particular plays. And if you hit those, that's 14 points. And now it's a different game. And that's what we talk to our guys. It comes down just to a few plays. You just can't go ahead. You're not going to wholesale change anything. We're going to keep doing what we're doing because there's plays to be made out there. We got to go execute. We got to make our play. If we got to set on a 5 technique and pass pro him, we got to block him. If we're a running back and we got a blitzer coming, we got to go hit him right in the mouth and stone him. So we got time to throw the ball down the field. And so it all works together. And I think that's where. All 11 have to be playing as one, and not you can't have one guy that doesn't do his job because it's going to throw the whole thing off. But we got good plays and we got good players. We got to go execute.
Kind of going off of that, when you looked at the film in terms of the offensive line, is there anything other than rotations that you can fix, maybe play calling, scheme type thing?
Yeah, and we rotated more up front last week. And we got Trevor in, we got Phil Wilder in. Both of those guys played a lot of snaps, and we felt like we needed to do that. Probably should have done that in Miami game, just to give some of those guys a break. Particularly Miami game, 91 snaps. That's a lot, and because they're rotating D linemen. And if you're an O lineman, you're playing the whole time, and you're going to get wore down a little bit. And I thought we did. Thought it was better this week to be able to rotate some of those guys in there. That certainly will help as we move forward into Big 12. And we're always looking at. What formations can we get in to help our guys? How can we create, ways to get our guys in space to free them up? I mean, that's what we're looking at all week, and we're trying to do a great job with that. Sometimes when you call it, maybe, the defense didn't cooperate on that particular play, so it's not going to match up very well. So that's the cat and mouse game that goes on throughout the whole week, and then, of course, on game day. Because you're always trying to figure out ways to free your guys up in the best possible manner. And we got to do a better job with that. There's no question.
Shaman flashed a little bit against Oklahoma. With the troubles on third down and in the red zone, do you think he could be a guy with his size that could possibly alleviate some of that pain?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly another guy that needs to make plays for us. The tight ends, we've used them every week, whether it be Peyton or Shaman. The thing that last week, you go back and look at it, that really hurt us. I mean, we had 15 third downs. 10 of them were third rate or more, and I didn't know at the end of the game how many it was. It was 10. I knew it was a lot. I mean, if you're third and 10 plus versus a Venables type defense, good luck. Because you're going to see so many different things on defense, so many different pressures, and therefore there's very difficult to get those first downs. But we got to do a better job with that. And it's a disappointing thing is the third and short. I mean, we ran an inside zone. We don't block the Mike backer. We're off the field. It was 3rd and 2. We get 1. So we got to do a much better job in that regard of converting, getting those first downs. And we had been good on 4th down prior to Saturday. I think we were 1 for 4 on Saturday. There at the end, we didn't get the 4th downs, and we come up a yard short on 2 of them. And again, there are plays that are there. We just, we got to continue to execute and get those across the first down.
Because it's a Friday, the winner of this will be the first of the newer 4 to have a Big 12 win. Is that an important thing at all?
Absolutely. And, it's our second game in the Big 12, and, we need a win. We need to get a win desperately. And for them, too. I mean, they're looking at – you're both 0-1. You want to try to stay on the top of the Big 12, and so it's a big game for that in that regard. You want to at least get a win, so you're sitting there at that 1-1 mark in the Big 12 instead of the 0-2. And again, for the 4 newcomers, one of us is getting a win for sure this week, and it's certainly be exciting. Hopefully, it's the Bearcats.
maybe surprised isn't the right word, but have you been a little surprised at how often teams are trying to come right at the A gap and the B gap, blitzing you guys, or is that just?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think, there was times Saturday where we hit some good outside zones when they were blitzing us. Guys picked it up great, and we're ripping 10, 12-yard runs, which is awesome. There's other times they guessed right, and they hit us and got us. We were prepared for those type stunts and blitzes. I think number 28 was a guy last week, the Mike backer that was really coming into A gap, and I thought he was a really good player. They got us a few times. He made the stop on the 3rd and 2. He sacks Emery when we had Xavier running free, wide open. We got to do a better job of solidifying that on the line of scrimmage, and obviously not allowing that penetration to get in the backfield. But here's the thing about defenses: if they have some success with that, then we're going to keep seeing it. I tell our guys, if you don't want to see it, then you got to stone it. And they stone it, then they're probably not going to call it anymore. So we got to do a better job of stoning those tight pressures.
Didn't see a lot of blitz against Oklahoma. Was that just because of how good? That means what? 80%?
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to dial up blitzes too as fast as they're going. And because what you don't want to do is call a blitz and then somebody didn't see it or stunned it the wrong way, and all of a sudden you got a guy running free for a touchdown. What we wanted to do last week was keep everything in front of us, not give up those big plays, and we did a great job with that. And now they have to drive the ball, and we saw what happened. Sometimes along the way the offense will screw up. And they did that, and we forced several punts for them, and they hit the one ball down the sideline. And I thought Justin was in great shape on that one. He's right there running, toe to toe with him, and the guy made a great play on it. But overall, yeah, it'd be hard to stunt them as like you'd like to do. But if they were more conventional, it'd be easier. But that wasn't the case.
Emery said after the game, he kind of admitted that he didn't think he did a good enough job. What's it like to have that quarterback that takes that responsibility, and what have your conversations with him been like since that game?
Yeah, I mean, he's a mature guy, and he gets it. He's played a bunch of ball. And the thing as a quarterback, you have to make every play. Like, you have to. If you don't make it, then you're going to punt, right? Or you're going to get the ball back to them. And, those third downs that we're putting the ball in the hands of the quarterback, he's got to see it. He's got to make the proper read, and he's got to make the throw. If he doesn't, then it's going to be bad news for us because we're going to either punt the football, have to go for it on 4th, or whatever. And here's the other thing, if there's times in the game where you're going to have a guy running free, you got to throw and catch. If you don't do that, then you just lost an opportunity. I got to think back to the Miami game right before halftime when he overthrows Wiggins. That's a great opportunity right there. He has a wide open, you got to hit him, and he knows that. But you don't get those over. And as a quarterback, you have to be able to make those plays. We put a lot of pressure on our quarterbacks in practice to make those. Every single throw's got to be perfect. I thought yesterday he had a great day. He threw the ball awesome. And but he knows what he has to do. There's a fine line from pressing too much and being able to cut loose and play. And that comes from, I think, confident in a game plan and confidence in your ability to make it happen. And I think yesterday, man, he cut loose and had a great day, and hopefully we'll have another one today. But you go look at any quarterback in the league, in the college, if they're playing well, then usually the offense is playing well.
Looking back at the tape, what do you think it was you guys were able to do that was as successful it was in keeping Oklahoma out of the end zone?
Really holding the RPO down. Like, we held the RPO down a lot. And then stopping the run, for real. 2 good things we did. We could have played better, but I think we played a pretty good game on defense.
Playing at Utah State, what do you tell the guys about going out there and mountain time and all that, and the fans, the atmosphere, that whole situation?
Really, the elevation is going to be a factor this game, but I feel like the crowd, I feel like Nipper's better, so ain't nothing really that we ain't seen before, but it's gonna be louder in there, but the elevation is gonna be a little bit of a problem. But I played there last year, it was nothing crazy.
You guys are doing a good job of forcing takeaways, especially with the forced fumbles so far this season. And Coach Brown at Louisville, they really led the nation last year in forced fumbles. So what is it like playing for such an aggressive coach that teaches you to really go after the ball as much as you can?
Oh, it's nice. It's real nice because it's all about the ball. That's how you win games. When we made that, when Threats forced the fumble in the red zone, that was a huge turn. That was a huge turn. We got to capitalize off that.
Looking Back at the tape, obviously, was there any play in particular that stands out that you guys thought you could have maybe changed that game on Saturday to where you guys could have got that momentum there for you guys?
It's not really like one specific play. It's like we would stop them, then they'll hit like they big run, and it's not like really one specific play. It's just more like two drives or like 3rd and 16 when we had them like 3rd and long on the goal line. I wish we could have stopped them when they hit the big run. I think they ended up getting a field goal that drive. That was one I wish we could have stopped them right there.
You're a West Coast guy. Do you have any? This is as close as you get to where you're from. Does anyone come to watch this?
Yeah, my mom and my brother coming. So yeah, I'm gonna see them on Thursday.
From a player perspective, how much different is a short week? Missing an extra day of rest and getting right into it.
Yeah, short week. It's tough, but we've been doing a good job getting our lift in and recovery, and they took care of us yesterday. So really, we only got one really banging day, which is today. So, they do a good job taking care of us. So,
Oklahoma converted that 3rd and 19 on a rush play. When you look back at that on film, like what's the reaction in the film room? What is Coach Brown saying to you guys when that happens?
We fitted every gap perfectly. Like every gap was fit. We got too thick on the man. Like we got too thick on the man, and then the guard swallowed him, and then that's how it hit. But we was all gapped up. It's just a little technique thing. Like it wasn't really a problem like call, but it's a little technique. But that could get fixed easy.
A linebacker over there that you played with last year, I can't pronounce his name because I can't pronounce
Bong Pachong.
Yeah. So how was that playing against a former teammate and going back out there, or have you guys been texting back and forth? Any communication, or do you even get along?
Yeah, no, that's my guy. I called him. I said I'm gonna have more tackles than him at the end of the game. So, yeah, that's my guy. But he a good player. I want him to. We gotta run the ball at him too. See what you feel me? See what he made of. But he a good player though. That's my guy.
Looking forward to BYU on Friday night. Just talk about what you've seen from their offense. Obviously, Keaton Slovis is a guy who has had so much success in his college career. What does this BYU present on the offensive end?
Well, when I played them last year, there was like a more like run, stretch heavy team. But the first 4 games, they've been throwing the ball. So that's what I like. I'm going to try to pin my ears back and get after it. So, but they wasn't running the ball as much as they did last year, which I like. But they counter, stretch. They like to chip a lot on the way. But cool offense. Nothing we ain't seen before.
So is BYU, Utah State kind of like a battle for the victory bell type of thing where maybe nationally it's not known as a big rivalry, but in the state of Utah it was a big deal?
It is. There is actually a trophy for that. Utah State versus BYU. I forgot what it was, but the wagon wheel?
Yeah,
it is the wagon wheel, yeah. It is a rivalry. Like we call them the school down south or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it is a rivalry. I didn't really know too much about it, but appreciate it.